All right, we are starting the stream. We're live. It's Wednesday, 7 p.m.
Yeah, seven on the dot.
Getting kind of late here.
Yeah, this won't be a very long one.
Oh, you say that now.
I don't think.
Well, let's see. We gotta go
Less
through
thoughts
the
than
Academy.
last week.
Okay, so there's no thoughts. We gotta go through Academy Awards,
Yeah, that should.
and we gotta go through some Pokemon.
Yeah, we gotta talk a lot about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Two doses.
Yep, double dipping Pokemon.
Double dip Pokemon.
By the way, we will double dip Pokemon at the end. I will
Yeah.
not talk about the
Right.
other thing
Right.
in the movie section.
Right. We will wait. Hold our
Hold our Pikachu.
licky tongues. I knew that there was a tongue Pokemon.
I knew there was too.
Like lick tongue. His tongue in his name.
All right, that's sent. We're good. Posting. Success.
Posting.
All right,
Move over a little bit.
Posting
more.
and
I feel like
posting.
I'm too much to the right.
probably. All right, this is for you.
This is for me.
This
All
is
right.
for me.
Looking good. All right.
Oh, why? Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Let's get the show on the road. Hello.
And we are up and going.
Welcome. It's the Media Boat Podcast.
Yeah, it is.
We here at the Media Boat Podcast, if you don't know what we are a podcast that brings you news about movies, television, music, and video games. Not necessarily in that order, but sometimes in that order. This is February 27th. It's a Wednesday. It's February 27th.
It's the end of February.
It's all, yeah. Next week it will be March. Can you believe that?
2 days it will be March.
2 days will be March. But yeah, it's February 27th, 2019. This is episode 164.
64.
164. My name is Matt. His name is Mike.
I'm Mike. He's Matt. This past weekend was the Academy Awards.
It was.
We gotta talk about that. And we're gonna have to talk about some Pokemon news.
Yeah.
But before we get to any of that, we have to start off our podcast right.
We start on the right foot, which of course is talking about movies. And of course we start talking about movies with the weekend box office numbers.
So we had one
movie.
One movie.
We had one new movie.
One new movie. The How to Train Your Dragon, not 3, but
Yes.
yeah, it's How to Train Your Dragon 3.
It's 3.
It is.
But guess what? Your one new movie is also the number one new movie because How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, is your number one at $55 million,
Okay.
which is middling for that franchise.
You'd like to think that, but that is actually its biggest opening
Really?
for that franchise.
I'm shocked. Do they just have a long tail? I mean, dragon pun, but yes. Do they
Yes.
have a long tail?
They
Is that
have
why?
the slow burn
Okay.
because they usually put it out when there's no other family-friendly movies. Plus, that thing
Right.
plays big internationally.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So, yeah, it has plenty of more money to make. But for now, $55 million debut. Coming in number 2, Alita Battle Angel swings another $12 million, adding to its $61 million total. Lego Movie 2 is your number 3 with $9.6 million, adding to a respectable $83 million. That thing will make it eventually to 100.
It should cross the 100.
Yeah. Fighting
or
with
it
my
may
family.
not, actually.
Fighting with My Family is your number 4.
This is the wrestling movie. We did not mention it because it got a limited release, and then last week it went wide.
So that one debuts at $7.8 million for its worldwide or nationwide debut. That's $8
Pretty
million
much.
grand total there. So
Yeah, it did millions for a small opening, and then went wide.
yep, and
Good
then
money.
rounding out your top 5, Isn't It Romantic? And number 5 with $7.1 million. I think sitting on 33 domestic. Yeah,
Okay, that thing's
it
done.
made its money.
It did its one and done weekend of romance.
It'll enjoy an afterlife on HBO.
It probably will. Or is it Showtime?
Yeah,
I'll
maybe
pick it up.
Showtime. One of them. Netflix.
Yeah.
That's it for box office. So upcoming this week, we have a couple of movies. Greta. What is Greta?
Greta stars Chloe Grace Moretz in a horror suspense film.
Okay.
Greta is the name of the mother, but what is she really up to? I don't know. I'm not seeing this. I'm not buying the vibe.
Well,
even if it does have Chloe Grace Moretz in it.
Are you buying then Tyler Perry's A Medea Family Funeral?
No, I'm buying Tyler Perry's The Cinematographer Award.
Tyler Perry's A Medea Family Funeral.
This thing
out this week.
Funny enough, this thing was not out on the original release schedule. I saw the commercial for this like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it said coming out in 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, let me check my schedule here on this website. Beep, beep, boop. Nope, not on it.
But somehow it's still coming out.
But somehow it's still getting released because Tyler Perry.
Because he's got to have a new movie every year. There it is. Sometimes more than one. But yeah, those are your new releases. So nothing special. It's a humdrum week.
It really is. But the following weekend is going to be the big one. Because that is the Captain Marvel weekend.
That is the Captain Marvel weekend. But we'll get there when we get to it. First, we need to talk about the biggest event of the last week, which was, of course, the Academy Awards.
The hostless Academy Awards.
Hostless Academy Awards. The Academy Awards that threatened to cut awards, that threatened to cut musical performances, that made a lot of threats that didn't actually end up coming to fruition. But ultimately, we got a show that was rather briskly paced for something that ended up still clocking in over 3 hours.
Yep.
Something that kept moving, zero filler at all. Like very little. Like,
there's a brief host intro with Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, and Maya Rudolph.
That's it.
That thing went, I think, 5 minutes tops, and that was it.
Yeah, and then they had the Academy dude introduce the in memoriam section, but that was it.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, it was just giving out awards, which goes to show how long it takes to just show awards.
Well, plus commercials. Right. But that being said, the ratings for the Academy Awards were actually up this year.
Okay, that's good.
They were up by 5 million over the past several years.
How much of that is the Black Panther factor?
Probably a lot of it is the Black factor.
They always say in years where one of the nominations for Best Picture is a movie that a lot of people saw, those are the years the ratings spike.
Well, that's the reason they increased it to 10, to get some of those popular films into the Best Picture category without them actually having a shot at winning.
Speaking of Black Panther, let's talk about who came home with the most trophies here. So Black Panther surprised me. You were right on our prediction podcast that it was going to take some of the technical awards that I maybe didn't think about as it taking. I played it safe on costume design and production design.
You went with traditional. You went very traditional with Mary Queen of Scots and the favorite being, it's your ye old England, everything looks pretty.
Yeah, specifically the favorite.
Yes.
Like, I doubled down on that one, winning those categories. But I was pleasantly surprised. I think that Black Panther, as we discussed, deserved to win those.
Oh, yeah.
But it was cool. That meant that Marvel took home, 3 awards over the course of the night? Because I think they also got costume design, they got production design, they also got...
Let's see here. They won... I
don't remember.
No, costume design and...
Maybe it was just the 2.
Just the 2.
Okay, but still.
Oh, original score.
Oh, sorry.
That's right.
Yes, the 3. So
original score.
That's 2 more than I thought I was going to win. So there we go. So a good night for Marvel, taking home their first, I believe their first Academy Awards. Besides...
awards outside of visual effects.
Speaking of visual effects, we also called this upset. We said that if the power of the Avengers just wasn't gonna cut it, then First Man would take it.
Right. See, I figured we were past that when Gravity won it 6 years ago.
No, we're not.
But no, I guess space got better.
Yeah, I was very upset about that one specifically because on Friday I had almost changed my prediction to First Man.
Okay.
And if I had done so, I would have won my pool.
What? You lost by 1?
No, I tied.
Oh, you tied?
I tied.
So if you would have done my picks, you would have won.
Switched. Well, yes, technically speaking, but
so I beat your pool.
It's specifically First Man was the thing that screwed me over.
Really, and not Green Book?
No. weirdly enough, because none of us got Best Picture.
Oh!
The entire pool, we all missed it.
Well, before we get to that, I have one last thing to say on Black Panther.
Yeah.
Did they perform their original song?
That's because a couple days, we didn't report this on the podcast because it was such a blip and we didn't have a bid section last week.
Right.
But yes, Kendrick Lamar and SZA declined to appear, which means that All the Stars was not performed.
So that would have added an additional 5 minutes to the broadcast.
But yeah, they declined to show kind of last minute there, last week. And thus, it was the one song that was not performed. So yeah, the Academy in a weird way did get something that they wanted.
Yes.
What else do we need to cover? So pretty much the ones that we were sure on, everything but actress and Best Picture seemed to actually pan out.
Yeah. Olivia Colman won.
Yes.
We kind of saw... So this was not a surprise because she was winning a lot of awards.
But not as many as Glenn Close, and not as the important awards like Glenn Close had won.
Right.
We figured from experience that Glenn Close would be ironically, the favorite coming into this. But I thought Olivia Colman winning was a pleasant surprise. She seems cool. And that was a very endearing speech. So I think that it's one of the surprises of the night that actually I was okay with. I was like, yeah, this is fine. Like this makes sense.
Yes.
However, best editing was not a surprise that I wanted. Bohemian Rhapsody taking an award that it shouldn't have won.
No.
You had a lot of better competitors there, and I was very disappointed in that one.
Well, but it took both sound editing and sound mixing.
Right.
So
I called that though. Well, I was right in that about those two.
Well, no, we were both picked that.
Yeah, but
it was the sound editing that we went with Roma.
Right. But no,
because of the difference. But people don't know the difference.
People don't know the difference. Even the people in the Academy itself.
Yep.
What else do we need to hit on? The writing prizes.
Yes.
Spike Lee took home a Academy Award.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean Spike Lee.
Yes. Yes. And his co-writers for adapted screenplay for BlacKkKlansman.
Yep.
Samuel L. Jackson and him shared a bro hug on stage.
Yes. You see Nick Fury accepting Waluigi into the Avengers.
Yeah, pretty much.
What was he
screenplay
wearing?
went to Green Book, which I also
we called that here.
We got that. That was correct.
Yes, Green Book script was winning.
I'm still perfect on screenplays. I've
Yep.
never predicted incorrectly for screenplay Oscars.
Keep that going.
Okay, keep rolling with it. Let's see.
How's that turned out for the overall awards?
You know what? I'm at least consistent. I did about the same that I did last year.
Oh yeah, we did about the same.
We both did about the same we did last year, and there were more surprises this year.
Yes.
So I feel okay. I'm still betting pretty well. But that brings us to the big prize of the night. We have to talk about this.
Yes, Spider-Man won Best Animated Feature.
That's great. But not what I was talking about.
You're right. Bao winning Best Animated Short.
We called that as well, but no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Free Solo winning. You were right.
I called that one. I know what I'm talking about sometimes.
I know.
But we need to talk about Best Picture.
Okay.
So, we called Roma. The world called Roma. But the one little thing that we talked about when we brought this up was that I had read, and I believe I quoted Variety about this,
yes,
that they said that if there was any reason why Roma would not win, and Green Book would be the winner instead, would be if members of the Academy were not ready to give Best Picture to a streaming service.
And you were right.
I was right. I didn't want to be right.
Oh, no.
I was not right. Variety was right.
Yes.
And I should have trusted the professionals a little bit more than I had. Because, that's probably 100% why it didn't win.
It definitely is. Because while all these awards are just whatever has the most votes wins, Best Picture is completely separate. It is ranked voting.
Yeah.
Which means...
You have to because of how many things are in the field.
Well, yes. But this means that if it's not ranked first or second, if it's ranked at the bottom, those votes, like, say, A Star is Born that people would vote for, are automatically thrown out.
Yeah.
And their second choice gets picked. And then it repeats. And then, if there is no 50% winner, the next one gets thrown out, and repeat until you get a movie that hits 50%. Most likely, Green Book was people's probably third choices, second or third choices, which means that by the time it got enough films kicked out and moved over, Green Book passed Roma, which probably had more votes to start with, but because it didn't have the second and third and fourth or whatever, because older Academy voters don't want Netflix to win, put it at the bottom, means it didn't have a chance to gain any more votes than it already had.
People at studios with vested interests in traditional movie distribution had reasons not to vote for the Netflix picture. It makes sense. It's old-fashioned, and I want to believe that we're past this, but we're not. It's 2019. This is still... I had this conversation at work, too, where I was like, I hesitate to call it politics, because that's a different conversation.
No, that's
it's
a Weinstein
industry bias.
It is.
It's industry bias. It's just an industry that's not willing to take on this new form of their craft.
I'd also like to think that most people didn't see Green Book, but instead, because it did win for the Golden Globe, that people just assumed, oh, that must be good. Film. I'm going to put it high. I haven't seen it, but it's won Best Drama for the Golden Globe. Therefore, it must be good.
So yeah, all of this is basically us saying it was a surprise. I think it was a surprise to us. I think it was a surprise to a lot of people out in the press, except for maybe that dude from Variety.
Yeah.
But I think though it makes sense for the reasons we just discussed, it sucks. Like you likened it over text to me to when a Crash won.
That's our Traffic.
Yes, you were wrong. But 2005, I want to say, when Crash won.
Yes.
And like now it's kind of been the joke that you bring up. It's like, can't believe that won Best Picture.
Yes.
There's going to be another one of those. I think Green Book's not going to age very well. I think, when you do your think pieces about the best and worst Oscar winners, you're going to have Green Book towards the back.
I think you mean, towards the back for
the end
worst.
of that list.
Yes.
Like the back end of that, the 80s, as opposed to the top 10, which sucks. Because I think if Roma was the deserved one, I think that was the one that's the movie that's gonna stand the test of time.
Oh yeah. Well, let's just go through Best Picture, the nominations again, real quick. Black Panther.
Yeah.
It's a superhero movie. They don't want to see superhero movie win. Makes the bottom.
Sense. Makes sense.
Black Klansman. It's a Spike Lee film. It's gonna be divided.
I was right. When it was gonna get its due, it's gonna get its due in screenplay, and that's all it's gonna win all night.
So it's gonna be divided, which means it's gonna be in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody, because of the Bryan Singer thing,
not a favorite.
It was not a favorite.
No.
The favorite. This one was probably at the top with Roma. It
had the acting block, but it had no one else.
Right. Well, it had the female acting block, but no one else.
You know what I mean.
Yes.
It had SAG.
Yes, but it did also have all the technical awards, too, because it is a period piece. Then you have Roma, which is arguably the best
It's the critics' pick.
It's the critics' pick, but it has the streaming against it, and that is literally the only thing against it.
It really is, because otherwise, Roma won that night in the form of Alfonso Cuarón taking both cinematography and director.
Yes.
Because that is what that movie is.
Oh, yes.
That is 100% what that movie is. Yes, I'm not to say anything about the acting. I still think the acting is great as well. But if it's going to win anything, those are the two it wins. And it did.
Right. Then you have A Star is Born, which started out good.
Right.
But
got overtaken.
It got overtaken quite easily. It is also, I found super hilarious when they were reading for adapted screenplay. A Star is Born. Based on the 1977 film.
And
based on characters of the 1954 film.
Yeah.
Based on the characters from the original one.
When they were talking about in the screenplay, adapted screenplay, Christy and I literally laughed when they were like, based on the movie, based on this movie. And we're like, oh my God, they're not even hiding it.
No, they're not. But you have to give that credit.
You do.
Yes. And that leaves us with Vice.
Yeah.
Which, while it is good, it is acted very well, and it's just...
I think...
It's like your fourth pick, though.
In a year that's less crowded, that would have been your easy favorite.
Right.
I think that, because people have pretty fresh memories of...
the Dick Cheney?
No, the last one that Adam McKay wrote.
Oh, The Big Short.
Big Short. People have relatively recent memories about Big Short, and that was a contender as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in a year that was less crowded, that would have been higher up.
Yes.
But yeah, so it makes sense that Green Book is kind of your odd one out there and why it became the winner. But yeah, it's definitely not what any of us wanted.
No, as I told everyone on this podcast, I told everyone at my Oscar party, it's a fine film,
but
it just does nothing spectacular about it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from multiple people at this point. Even the people who like it are always like, yeah, it's okay, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's like as far as they go. They're not like, oh, it was amazing, you should need to see it.
No.
Which is how I've been with Roma. Everybody I've talked to about Roma, I was like, no, you should watch this. Unless I'm like, sure that they won't like it, then I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't like this. But yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. You have anything else before we move on?
I wrote a couple stuff down.
Yeah, you basically just said some recap of stats here.
Yes.
Mexican director has won Best Director award 5 out of the last 6 years. Though of course names are that are in this field are Alfonso Cuarón, Alejandro Iñárritu, and Guillermo del Toro.
Yes, and each one of them have gone on to win Best Picture.
Yeah.
Except for Cuarón recently.
Yeah.
The one in between all that is Damien Chazelle for La La Land,
right?
Which also didn't win Best Picture.
Right. Correct. You're right. Also, first time since 2006 that Disney didn't win Best Animated Film. That, of course, went to Spider-Man. Rango won in 2011, but that year Disney did not have something that was eligible. So.
No, and then 2006 was, of course, Cars, which no one should give an award to.
And yet, here we are.
Here we are, 3 Cars movies later.
Right, 3 Cars movies later. Okay, then that's it for the Academy Awards, which means we move on to the polar opposite, which, of course, are the Razzie Awards.
Yes. These are the worst of the worst.
Yes, they celebrate the worst in cinema as opposed to the best. This year, the biggest winner was Holmes and Watson, which won Worst Picture, Supporting Actor for John C. Reilly, Worst Sequel/Remake, and Worst Director. Melissa McCarthy shared her nomination for Best Supporting Actress with
Best Actress
with a Worst Actress win for Happy Time Murders.
And I agree with that.
And also the Razzie Redeemer Award for her actual good role in Can You Ever Forgive Me?
I guess.
Yeah. So they balanced it out.
Yeah.
Worst actor was, our president, Donald Trump, in Death of a Nation, and in Fahrenheit 11/9.
Yeah, those are one of them's that Michael Moore documentary.
Right, yes. And 50 Shades Freed, the third in the 50 Shades of Grey series, won Worst Screenplay.
I forgot that movie came out last year.
Yeah, that's a thing. It's still a thing. That's it.
Yeah.
For our movie news. Do you have any little movie bits to address before we move on to television?
Any other movie stuff?
I didn't see any movies this week.
Nope, but the only thing I have is Captain Marvel coming out next weekend. Yep. Sorry, that's a Thursday showing for me next weekend.
Yeah. If I have some spare money this weekend, I might be picking up Spider-Man on Blu-ray.
Okay. That is good.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yep. Maybe they'll get actually say Academy Award winning.
It probably
on
will.
it.
Maybe they'll stick those stickers on right now.
The stickers.
But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about movies. So
I have one thing to say about movies, okay. But that's
going
to come out
for video games.
Video games.
Save it. All right. Television time. First up in television, we always start with sports.
Yep.
What's going on in the world of sports, you ask? Well,
what is going on?
In basketball, there are only 20 games left.
Yes, the end of the basketball season is coming up, and the LeBron Lakers are on the bubble.
Yeah.
LeBron could not make the playoffs for the first time this decade.
That's crazy.
That's right. He's been to the finals since 2010. And moving to LA may not have been the best thing. Well, I don't know. He got paid, so
yeah, I mean,
it might not be
paycheck. He doesn't care at this point. Also in sports, it's one of your favorite times of year. It's the NFL Combine. Ooh. Combine starts this weekend in Indianapolis.
Yes, the D League stars
the D League
of the NCAA gather in Indianapolis for a 4-day romper of tests and abilities and drills, and hopefully you don't make a fool of yourself. Hopefully. Because 32 teams of scouts, not 32 scouts, 32 teams of scouts
yes.
are there to watch you, and hopefully you can be one of 200 players chosen for the NFL draft.
Well, that's exciting.
Is the end of April.
And the whole time you're just watching these dudes like run through tires and run back and forth a lot.
And I'm just sitting there looking for the best football name.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's some great football names.
Oh, it's so great.
Names. Watch that combine. All right. Also in sports, meanwhile, I'm guessing this is golf.
Yes.
Wentworth.
Yes, Wentworth is the course.
An albatross was hit. Now define this. Is that a golf term, or did somebody actually hit a bird?
Yes, a rare albatross was hit.
That doesn't help.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, so albatross is when...
It's a golf term.
Yes, it is definitely a golf term. It's when you go under par. So if you go 1 under par, it's a birdie. 2 under par is an eagle. 3 under par is an albatross. 4 under par is a condor. And 5 under par is a phoenix. The reason I say the reason that it goes that high is because there's 2 or 3 7-hole courses in the world. But I mean, this is all aside from the hole-in-one, because hole-in-one is a hole-in-one no matter what.
No matter what, because that is what
which
it
means
is.
it starts at par 3. Yeah. So 3, 4, 5. So on a par 5, it took him 2 shots to make it in the hole.
That's pretty good.
It is. If you're confused by the albatross, it's more commonly known as a double eagle.
Oh, okay. I've heard that.
Yes.
Okay. I had not heard of albatross before.
Yes. That's the official name.
Okay.
But it's just more commonly referred to as a double eagle.
You doubled the eagle.
Yeah. Well, it's because you can bogey and then double bogey, and that's why it's a double eagle.
Right. That makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, it's a great shot.
And that was
super
lucky. Mention that was Tommy Fleetwood who did that.
Yes, not a Fleetwood Mac.
No.
Thing.
It's a different Fleetwood.
It's a different Fleetwood. No, but to hit that, it's luck. You cannot plan for that to happen.
No.
It's all luck. I mean, it's like 10% luck and 20% skill, I guess.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Anything else about sports before we move on to television news?
Along with the NBA wrapping up, the NHL is wrapping up as well.
Hockey.
Yep. As we get into March here, they will both be ending simultaneously, and then beginning playoffs simultaneously.
Playoffs?
Yes, assuming you make the playoffs.
Yeah, assuming. It's a big assumption. All right, let's move on then. That's it for sports. Let's talk about television. Our first news story has us going back 50 years to the beginning of something near and dear to children's hearts.
Yes.
Sesame Street.
Oh, I was going to say we went to the moon.
No.
Okay.
Sesame Street has existed for 50 years. Can you believe that?
No and yes.
Well, guess what? It's being saved for posterity. So hundreds of years from now, potentially, if there's still ways to view digital content.
So you can plug stuff in.
You can show your kids in the future Sesame Street because it's being preserved. It says, over the next year, nearly 4,500 episodes of the show will be incorporated into the archive of public media from across the U.S. The collection will be available to view on site at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. In case you're wondering, Sesame Street first aired in November 10th, 1969.
Okay, so that anniversary is later this year.
And its parent company, Sesame Workshop, announced early details to celebrate their upcoming 50th anniversary. The AAPB has preserved over 90,000 audio and video materials, by the way, including 8,000 episodes of PBS NewsHour. So yeah, they've already been doing this for other public broadcasting things. My question, though, is this just the public broadcasting run? Or does this include the more recent HBO Sesame Street?
So this is in conjunction with the parent company of Sesame Street, Sesame Workshop.
So I'm guessing yes.
So yes, it is all episodes. In addition to that, they also have recordings of the entire Senate hearings of the Waterhouse.
Okay.
Watergate at the White House.
Are they keeping the Senate hearing we had today with Michael Cohen?
I'm pretty sure eventually that will also be.
Boy. I wouldn't want to rewatch that though. Yeah.
I mean, if you want a good laugh or something.
Or something.
But yeah, they have all those recordings. They also have several documentary historian recordings of that took place in 1969. Nice. Yes, it was nice. And other...
you didn't say nice earlier, so I didn't say it.
I don't know. Well, because I was at the moon landing. And other historical recordings.
Yeah.
That's at the public... Public. What am I trying to say?
Public?
Yeah, the public broadcast. not at the Library of Congress.
Right. Well, there you go. That's cool. I'm glad. Let's move on.
Yeah. Also, side note: in November, when it does hit the 50th anniversary, there will definitely be a special.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yes. So we'll report more on that
when it comes
in November.
All right. Everyone's gonna be busy though. Next up. We have a story here, a follow-up story about AT&T buying Warner Media.
So, last summer, we reported that AT&T had put in a bid to buy Warner Media.
Yeah.
It was accepted, but it had to go through a bunch of legal hoops first, as most of these telecoms need to.
So here's where we're at. Looks like it went through federal courts, but it was submitted to appeal. So, it went back to the Justice Department. The Federal Appeals Court has rejected the appeal. That didn't work out. It is believed that AT&T, by the way, is looking to streamline the Turner staffers. Those would be workers from TNT, TBS, CNN, Cartoon Network, which are all being absorbed here in Atlanta, New York, and Los Angeles into the Warner Brothers umbrella proper. Basically removing the autonomy of those units.
Right. It was weird that it wasn't done originally, but I guess they wanted to buy it, but separate. Keep it separate.
I mean, it made sense at the time because those were identifiable brands that were treated separately.
Well, yeah, they were identified as Turner.
Like even when the WB network had cartoons on their kids WB service, it was not interchangeable with Cartoon Network stuff. There was some crossover. Yeah. There were some shows that did appear on both, like your Teen Titans. But generally speaking, those were treated separate. And that was kind of how, since the Warner-Turner merger, how things have gone. Is that they've always been kind of their own deal. So this would change that potentially. This would put all the leadership in the same place. Former NBC chairman Bob Greenblatt has been rumored to come in and shake up the status quo at Warner Media. They're still planning on launching their own streaming platform because, of course, they are by the end of this year.
Yes. They, as we mentioned before, they're directly competing with Disney.
Which,
yeah.
They have the content, though, for that.
Oh, yes.
That's not an issue.
No.
It's just an issue is our poor wallets.
Yes. But now that would be included in any AT&T deal, perhaps?
Yeah. I just don't want to get to the point where I have to potentially pony up money to see whatever the new Cartoon Network, prestige cartoon is. Like if I have to subscribe to their streaming service to see the next to see Infinity Train.
Yeah.
If that's why Infinity Train doesn't have a launch date yet, I will be so pissed.
Well, what if you get a bundle deal where if you get AT&T as a cell phone, you'll get 3 months of the streaming
Apple
service
Music
for free.
It.
Yep.
They could do that.
They definitely could.
All right. Well, that's it for television news, unless you have any bits of television you want to talk about.
Any bits? No, but I have some thoughts.
I want to talk briefly about the Jeopardy All-Stars.
Oh, yes.
Which is happening. That started last week. It is in progress right now. I just wanted to mention, if you like Jeopardy, it's a cool new kind of Jeopardy with 3-person teams. So check it out if that sounds neat. But it's very weird, but cool.
It is. They definitely seem to stretch it.
Yes.
But do the questions seem harder to you?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
I think they know that they're dealing with the best of the best here.
Yes.
So we're getting tournament level questions for sure.
Oh yeah.
This is in place of your typical the tournaments they've done in the past, like the Battle of the Decades and your tournament
typical
champions. This is like that, except a different
on Jeopardy steroids.
And you're not getting just champions. You're getting some lesser champions on the teams that maybe didn't make as much of a splash. Maybe they didn't play 20 games in a row, but maybe they did like really well. Maybe they're memorable. Like they got the that one dude who was like really really good, had like that strategy of finding the daily doubles.
The double first.
He's on one of the teams.
Yes,
I think he's on Ken's.
I think he's on Ken's team.
And so it's cool to see people like that.
Right.
Because it's like, oh yeah, it's that guy. Oh yeah, it's this lady.
Oh no, it's that guy.
Oh yeah, and then for a couple of them, like Austin.
Yes. Also, because they're doing 2-day tournaments, basically, they alternate of who's going to be playing against who.
And it's a strategy too, because you'll strategize, be like, who's the best of us on Double Jeopardy? Who are we feeling for like buzzer speed compared to who's the best at Final Jeopardy questions, who can just bet correctly and commit to their answer. And so, it's really interesting strategically, which is a funny thing to say about a game show. That has strategy. Like, I guess there's a little bit of strategy.
Yeah.
So, all right. Do you have anything to say you have down here that you want to wrap up, I guess, your thoughts about Umbrella Academy?
Yes. So, I finished up Umbrella Academy instead of watching Russian Doll, because it was definitely the better of the two shows.
The one you wanted to watch.
It's also the one I wanted to watch.
So how do you feel after that thing ended?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. But it does the Netflix thing, or at least the TV thing, where it's a cliffhanger ending, and so they're hoping it gets picked up for a second season. I kind of don't like that. I'd rather shows just like end what the story you're telling,
right?
Wrap it all up,
and then tie a bow, and then we'll come back. We'll visit this again.
Yeah, and should you get a second season?
No, never. No. Because everything at this point is cliffhanger, because they want to keep you wondering, like, oh, what will happen when this thing comes back? Even video games are getting there. I'll get to that a little later in the show.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts did that.
Yeah.
Where
every video game does it. Even video games that don't have any reason to do this does this now.
Yes.
Which again, I'll get to later.
Yeah.
Okay. I watched the first episode.
Oh, did you like it?
I actually did.
Yeah.
I was shocked because I don't know if I'm gonna continue watching it, but I was like, this is really well produced. This is really well done. They pay enough attention to each of the characters. We were like, okay, I am like familiar with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that they focus mostly on that instead of the action, and the action is used sparingly, and thus it's more effective.
Oh yeah.
Because some of the problems that I had with some, especially the Netflix stuff, like your Marvel shows, is that like it's just constant stuff.
They'll rush to the action and then literally stop and have to explain stuff. Whereas
this
Umbrella Academy actually is well written, where you get stuff as stuff happens.
You get a lot of explanation, but it doesn't feel annoyingly explanatory.
It's not being told to you; it's being told with your view.
Yeah, it's very well done.
Yes, I do like how they handled the time travel aspect of everything throughout the series. It's definitely an interesting gimmick.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see if they'll play by their rules and not try and finagle their way around it.
Right.
But that being said, there is a lot of stuff that I see them do within just this first season that I see also sets up future seasons and like extends that mystery.
Yeah.
But it's good. Definitely check it out. It's what I felt like is a cross between like Heroes, but if it was made for the CW, but it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I can see an element of that.
Yeah. What are we saying?
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about Umbrella Academy? Move on.
No. No, just that it's really good. You should check it out. Check out Umbrella Academy.
Okay. I was just checking if this was something important.
Okay. Is it not?
Not right now.
Okay.
All right.
Any other stuff? TV? Notes?
I didn't watch anything else, so we get to move on to cancellations and renewals.
Okay.
First up, canceled on Sci-Fi is Night Flyers after one season. Netflix is bringing back The Haunting of Hill House for a second season, but it will become an anthology series. So the next one will just be The Haunting of... something else.
Whatever.
So we'll find out. CBS
I think that's actually good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Because it's filling kind of a void left when American Horror Story ends very soon here. Young Sheldon over at CBS gets expanded another 2 seasons. That will bring it to its end of its 4th.
Why?
Because people watch it.
Okay.
Axios on HBO will get a 2nd season. Temptation Island, the reboot, I guess.
It is a reboot, yes.
Temptation Island will get a 2nd season over on USA. Chicago Wednesdays are getting heated up on NBC. All the Chicago shows getting extended 1 more season.
Your Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, and Chicago Med.
Yep, so all of your Chicago favorites coming back for at least 1 more season on NBC.
Yep.
Fox is bringing back Hell's Kitchen for another 2 seasons. That's going to bring it to its 20th.
Woo! Wait, we just did Rookies vs. Vets. What else could they do?
I don't know.
I thought they ran out of ideas.
We'll go back to a regular one.
All right.
And that's it for cancellations and renewals. Next up, we have a handful of deaths here. First up, Peter Tork. Age 77, he was an actor and a musician. You don't have that here, but he was one of the Monkees.
Yes, I figured by saying he's the Monkees.
Yeah, but the Monkees...
automatically be
they started out as actors, but really they're a band.
Yeah.
They're more of a band than the Partridge Family is. I mean, they definitely made more music than just their show allowed.
Yeah, they're not just monkeying around.
No, it's true. They're too busy singing to bring anybody down. Morgan Woodward, age 93, actor, was in Star Trek, Gunsmoke, Dallas, so a lot of older shows.
Yep.
Brody Stevens, age 48, he was a comedian and actor, well known in the LA comedy scene. I saw a lot of people mourning his loss over Twitter over the weekend.
Yep, he was a huge stand-up comedian.
From what I understand, died from suicide.
Yep.
Rough. Help your friends with mental health. It's tough, and we need to prevent more of these things from happening. He was in a couple of movies, but most notably, and kind of the running joke, if you could call it that, on Twitter, was that I guess his scene from The Hangover was cut.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people saying that he should have been in memoriam.
So his scene is cut from all the TV stuff?
Right.
Because he's the police officer that brings in the kids?
Yes.
Not Rob Riggle. Right. One of the other ones.
Seems like a really funny guy. I wasn't super familiar with him before this happened, but like I said, everybody who's in the scene and aware.
Oh yeah, a lot of comedians on Twitter were reeling from this.
Really loved him. So this is definitely a loss for the LA comedy scene and comedy as a whole, I would say. And then lastly, Stanley Donen was age 94. Was a director. Directed Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
The film, I'm guessing.
Yes, the film.
Yes, of course it's the film. It's not actually based on stage. I added this one for later, but it's a dumb joke, and we can move on.
Oh, we can move it?
I don't even... You saw it?
Oh, no, I didn't see it. But we moved that to the end.
We'll get there. All right, so that means I toss it over to you, because it's time to talk about music.
Yes. Oh, last thing in TV bit. Last Week Tonight is back, if you want to watch that.
It did return.
Yes, it returned 2 weeks ago. I think I'm a week behind.
Okay, but it's time to talk about music, and we always start music with what?
The Weekend Billboard.
I think it's basically the same thing.
Yes, the Weekend Billboard.
Yep.
And we start with the Hot 100, your singles list.
All right, what am I listening to?
I don't know what you're listening to.
That's later. What's on the singles chart?
Number 1 is Seven Rings by Ariana Grande. Still,
it's the 5th
number
week.
1.
It's 5th week at number 1.
But it's no longer being bombarded by other Ariana Grande songs.
No, it's not.
Number 2, Without Me by Halsey.
Yep.
3, Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee.
Yep.
That thing's been up there forever now.
Yes.
We also have Thank You, Next by Ariana Grande at 4. And rounding out your top 5, Please Me, Cardi B and Bruno Mars.
That is a new single in the top 5.
That is a new thing.
Yes.
That brings us to the Billboard 200, your albums chart.
Yep.
And Ariana Grande, once again, on top with Thank You, coming next.
Yep.
Number 2, Bohemian Rhapsody, the soundtrack.
It's further awards bump there.
Yep. Speaking of awards bump, number 3, A Star Is Born.
Yep.
At number 4, Can't Say I Ain't Country.
Yes.
The Florida-Georgia line.
The one that you listened to last week.
Yes. It got that bump because it was the new thing.
Yep.
You'll see that thing gone immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Because country. And number 5, So Far Gone by Drake.
So this is an interesting entry because this is not new.
No.
In fact, it's 10 years old.
Where is this coming from?
It's because it's celebrating a 10th anniversary this year. It is Drake's mixtape. It's not even his first record. This was his mixtape that kind of launched his career back in 2009. This is back on the charts because it's been in a lot of has a lot of coverage. One, on the internet, and 2, it's available on Spotify for the first time. It was previously something you had to go download, but for free because it was a mixtape, and that was the era in which those were free. But yeah, you could go download this. In fact, right now, still, I believe it's still available for free. But Spotify added it to their library for the first time this past week, and thus it was eligible, and thus everybody noticed it, and thus it ended up in your top 5.
And thus everyone thought, oh, new Drake.
Except it's not new.
Except it's not.
But it's, hey, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't heard it, it's new to you. So yeah, that's why it's there. A little bit of Drake trivia there.
No, thank you.
I've never listened to So Far Gone, so I can't tell you. From what I understand, some of it is not held up very well.
It's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of stuff does hold up well after 10 years.
Yeah. So let's move on then.
Okay.
What am I listening to this week?
I don't know what you're listening to, but here are the new releases.
New releases.
We have 2 Chainz. Not one, but 2 of them.
A new 2 Chainz record.
Yes. Rap or Go to the League.
I don't know what that means.
Go to the League?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Why is this the binary? Why are those my 2 choices? I either rap or I go to the league.
I don't know what the league is supposed to represent, though.
Was he almost a football player? Like, what was he saying? Like, he was almost in a sport, so he's like, well, I had 2 choices. I could rap or I could go to the league.
Is that where the 2 comes from?
Perhaps I will listen to this on Friday, and I will report back next week to tell you what that means.
We need a new birthday song from him.
Yeah, a new birthday song.
Yep. We also have Hozier. Yes, that Hozier.
Hoosier.
Yes, Hoosier with Wasteland, baby.
Yeah, this name
or
made
baby.
Me laugh. It looks like Wasteland, baby.
Well, it's Wasteland, baby, because baby is yelling at me.
Exclamation point. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, weird name.
We also have Queensryche.
Queensryche
with The Verdict.
What's the verdict?
The verdict is I'm going to pass on that.
Okay.
We also have Royal Trucks with White Stuff.
Okay.
And if you couldn't get enough Weezer, Weezer's out with a new album.
More Weezer
with the Black Album.
Technically, it's self-titled, but they always do this, and we always end up calling it by the color that it is. So this is the Black Album. This follows, of course, their White Album, which was a couple years ago.
Right. This is, of course, not the covers.
No, this is not the Teal album.
No,
this is the Black Album.
No, if you want to listen to all their covers, it's already up on Spotify.
Yes,
this is new Weezer stuff.
And from what I understand, the internet already hates it. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like we're not getting good Weezer this time. We're getting bad Weezer.
Okay, so
yeah, I'm not gonna bother. I mean, I might have to probably at some point here, but I might not do it this week. But we'll see.
You know, that's a big long shot if it does.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have music news, or rather, TV news,
we do.
or video game news. I don't know what R. Kelly does anymore, but we have to talk about him.
This is music in the music section, but
yes, but there was the documentary about him.
They got him.
Okay, well, so they didn't really get it. They
got him for a period of time, and then they didn't get him.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a combination news story. This has the whole recap of what happened last week. Last week was a busy time for R. Kelly, so break it down for us.
Wicca. After spending the weekend in jail.
Yes. He was in jail.
Yes. R. Kelly actually went to jail on sexual abuse charges. But being that he is R. Kelly and believing that he can fly, he has posted a $100,000 bail.
He didn't post it.
Well,
somebody
did.
posted it for him.
Well, someone must have done it because he was released on Monday.
Yes.
According to Cook County jail records, cited by the New York Times, the one and only, a woman who described herself as a friend from the Chicago area paid the $100,000 bail. The standard 10% bail fee. Does that mean his bail was at $1 million? Charged for $1 million?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why initially going into this, everybody assumed that he would not be bailed out. Because everybody was like, well, no one's going to spend that much money on R. Kelly. Are you kidding? Like, his career is done. There's no reason. And this lady comes out literally from nowhere. She owns, like, a bakery or something? I don't know. I read something about how, like, whatever she does is super shady and, like, should probably be investigated. But yeah, this lady random says she's a friend and posts his bail out of nowhere.
Does R. Kelly not have $100,000?
I mean, I don't know exactly what it is.
Or maybe he doesn't want to?
Yeah, I don't know what the story was. Okay. I just remember going into this after the indictment.
Just somebody
was like, yeah, no, he's not getting out of this.
So he's just sitting there in jail, minding his business. All of a sudden, someone comes up and says, "You posted bail."
Yeah.
He's like
that scene in every movie where someone's in jail.
Yeah.
Where it's always like somebody shows up, like, "Hey, I'm here to bail you out. Like, I just paid. Like, come out." Like, I wonder if that actually happened.
So is this what the Monopoly card get out of jail free is for?
Yeah.
Based on? Like, this is how it happens.
That's how it happens. But anyways, the setup for this, of course, is in the second half of the story.
Yes. Well, R. Kelly had pleaded not guilty to the 10 counts of criminal sexual abuse.
Unsurprising.
Leveled against him at a hearing in Chicago on Monday morning. He has been in jail since turning himself into authorities on Friday night after his indictment earlier that day. Now, I know he did turn himself into jail. There was no big run, on the run,
no, he didn't
manhunt.
Even try. He knew he was done.
Well, yeah. There's a huge documentary about him.
Yeah.
He's R. freaking Kelly.
Right. So, yeah, the important thing here is that, he was charged, he was indicted, he went to jail. But that's how jail works.
Yes. Do note that this is R. Kelly, the singer, not R. Kelly, the football player.
No.
Not running back.
No. All right. Well, that's all that is.
So he's posted on bail right now.
Right. So
he still has to show up to his hearing.
Right.
All that is still to come. He is not a free man. No. just to clarify.
It's not ideal, but we'll see.
Yep. Speaking of not ideal.
All right. What else isn't ideal?
Peter Frampton.
Yeah, he's all right.
He has some.
I like that episode of The Simpsons where he's like performing at the same festivals, the Smashing Pumpkins, when Homer's
when Homer does the Cannonball Act,
the Cannonball Freak.
Yes.
Where he can't release the inflatable pig because Homer stole it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, that Peter Frampton.
That Peter Frampton. That's how I know Peter Frampton.
From that one Simpsons episode.
Yeah. And also a career in music. But anyways, what's up with Peter Frampton?
Or so I've been told.
Yes.
Well, Peter Frampton has told CBS this morning, on Saturday.
Yeah, not this morning.
No. That he suffers from a rare and incurable condition called inclusion body myosis.
Doesn't sound fun.
No. It causes the muscles to slowly weaken over time.
Fun.
Although the disease was first diagnosed 3.5 years ago, he had after he had a tumble on stage. It was only this past fall. I'm guessing that's fall time, not fall tumble.
I actually think it means actual fall.
Actual season fall.
Yeah, it's not. No. Actual fall tumble.
Oh, okay.
Like he fell.
All right.
Because it's not capitalized.
Okay.
That's how you know.
So when he last fell. Yes, he noticed the effects speeding up. So he decided it was time to tell fans that this was their last shot at seeing him in peak form.
Yeah.
So we have another artist going on a farewell tour.
Exactly.
This one will begin in June 18th in Tulsa and is scheduled to wrap up October 12th in San Francisco. That is a 4-month tour. That's gonna be limited dates.
Not a whole lot of time to go see Peter Frampton before he's gone from touring.
He may, like a lot of artists, end up doing one-off shows.
Yeah.
But in terms of like a grand tour, this is probably it.
Yeah, it's probably it. So go see him if you want to see him.
Yep, Peter Frampton, one of the greats.
Get your tickets now.
Or whenever they go on sale. All right,
let's move on.
All right, that brings us to thoughts. Do we have any thoughts?
I didn't listen to anything new. Your number one album is still Thank You Next. You sound like you have some things to talk about when it comes to Thank You Next.
Yes, I happened to listen to Thank You, Next for the first time. Yes, I've avoided it all this time.
Now, are you talking about the song or the album?
I'm talking about the song.
Oh, okay.
Not about the song, Thank You, Next.
Yeah?
I'm talking about that I happened to be carpooling with someone, and the song just happened to come on the radio.
Yeah.
And I just happened to listen to it. And it took me a while to realize that was the song that was playing.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't really care for it.
What? I don't understand.
I didn't understand the song. I didn't care for it.
Wait.
Maybe if I listened to it like by itself.
You should probably listen to it isolated because.
I did isolated.
Yeah, because I don't know. So, do you have anything particular that you didn't like about it?
It sounded like an Ariana Grande song.
It is an Ariana Grande song.
That's about it. It's like, oh, okay, clearly that's Ariana Grande.
I mean, really, the interesting part about that song is not how it sounds.
Okay.
The interesting part of that song is the lyrics. The interesting part about it is the fact that it's ostensibly a love song to herself. Okay. She's basically talking about yeah, I had previous relationships. Yes, they didn't work out in the end, but here's what I learned from them, and I have the ability now to have a greater respect for myself and a greater understanding of myself because of what I went through in those previous relationships. So it's a breakup song, basically, that instead of dwelling on the sadness of it, she's talking about how it has improved her. She's triumphed over the difficulty, is basically what she's saying.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of that.
Okay.
Maybe I should listen to it by itself.
Maybe you should try it again.
Again.
But it's not my favorite Ariana Grande song for how it sounds. No, I definitely think she has stronger songs, but I do understand why this is so endearing to people, because I could understand if people have had similar experiences to Ariana and where they have gone through some real rough breakups. This gives them the ability to rethink that situation, turn the tables, if you will, and not dwell on the negative, but dwell on the positive.
But that's impossible. No one in the history of ever has gone through a rough breakup. Ever. She is the first. That's why she wrote a song about it. This is a new experience, and she's telling us all about it. That's why I can't relate to it, because never happened to me.
Yeah, you're a unique case. Let's put it that way. Anyways, let's move on.
Let's move on. Video games.
Let's talk about video games, shall we? Because it's a really good week. A lot of good stuff happened, and then maybe a slightly not so good thing, but I still think it's interesting.
Yes.
What do we got, though, first in new releases?
All right, first up in new releases, we have Ape Out.
Ape Out.
Is this the Ape Escape?
I don't know what this is, but it's called Ape Out.
Okay.
It's got an ape on it, so...
Well, it's on the Switch and the PC, so probably not, but the Switch makes it thinks it is.
If you like to ape out, here's your chance.
Okay. We also have Dead or Alive 6 for the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
Yep, your fighting game with jiggly boobs.
Yep. AKA DOA. For all you fighting.
Less jiggly boobs this time. They're not as jiggly as before.
I think they cut down on the jiggle physics.
They cut down on the jiggle, and the costumes, at least the initial costumes that you don't have to pay for, are not as risque.
Okay. We also have Left Alive for the PlayStation and PC.
Sounds like a zombie game, but I could be wrong.
I think that is a zombie game. We also have The Occupation for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
Don't know.
Question mark, question mark, question mark. It's The Occupation.
the occupation.
Yes. And lastly, RBI Baseball 19.
It's like an arcadey kind of baseball game.
It is.
If you're wondering, like, wait a minute, I thought
that was an iOS game.
Well, no, before you say that, I was going to say, I thought that Sony had the rights to the Major League Baseball console releases. They still do. RBI Baseball does not have the real teams.
Yes.
Just letting everybody know ahead of time. These do not have the real teams or players.
Is it one of those, like, just the number? It's number 24.
Yeah, basically. You're number 24 on New York. It's that.
Yeah. It's just...
So maybe just wait for the show.
The show's always better anyways.
The show's always better.
Yeah. Anyways, that comes out on PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
Yep. All right, let's get to the stories.
Okay. Well, let's start with Nintendo.
Yes. We have 2 stories about Nintendo tonight.
Yeah.
Big Nintendo.
They've been good.
They fire on all cylinders lately. They really know how to own the beginning of the year.
Yes, it's when it comes to... Well, they're allowed to do these tree houses.
Although if you had asked me a few months ago whether I thought that EA would whiff it as much as they have with Anthem, I wouldn't have seen this coming. But yet, here we are, and Nintendo is the story of the February.
Speaking of Anthem, that is out.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody's playing.
Nobody cares.
I've not seen anything on that.
In fact, more people are still talking about Apex Legends.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
It's weird.
Anyways, but let's talk about Nintendo.
Okay.
So what's our first Nintendo story?
Our first Nintendo story is talking about Pikachu.
Oh, so much Pikachu. Well, not a whole lot of Pikachu, but Pokemon as a franchise.
Yes, so, like 2 days ago, we got a surprise tweet from Nintendo of Japan, America, whatever.
All of the above.
All the above.
Nintendo.
Saying that this morning, literally this morning, would be
Wednesday morning.
Would be a brand new, never before seen Pokemon Direct.
So we did our due diligence here. We did our reporting by waking up at 6 a.m. to see this. At least I did. And
oh no, I watched it at 6:45.
I watched it live. I watched it as it was happening.
As I knew going in, it was going to be a 7-minute thing. I didn't need the need to watch it live.
This was similar to what they did with the reveal of Sun and Moon, where except more than what we got in that initial reveal. This is the official reveal of Generation 8. This is the newest Pokemon generation, Switch exclusive, and yeah, we know what they are. It's Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yep.
What else do I have written down there?
Pokemon Sword and Shield, the 8th generation exclusive to Switch. The games will take place in the Galar region, which is kind of like the UK?
It seems to be based on the UK. I put London specifically because it seems like most of what they showed was a London surrogate.
Yes, but the big map they showed definitely looked like the UK.
But kind of, what I'm getting at is, like, if you recall, X and Y was based on Paris. Not France, but Paris. They specifically said Paris. So I'm assuming that that's probably what they're doing here as well. Okay. You might get some stuff that looks like it takes place outside there, but it's London. There's a Big Ben.
Right. There is. There's a big clock tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Galar region. Maybe we'll get a Galarexit.
You know what? The joke doesn't really work. But
no.
I actually was considering a Brexit joke earlier today, and I was like, I can't make this work. I can't make this funny.
No, you can't.
Maybe they did that on purpose.
Probably. Anyways, not only do we get the names of a new game, not only get the region of where it's going to be taking place, but we actually got the starters as well. We got
starters. What are those starters?
Your new starters are Scorbunny. Take a guess on what that is.
It's a fire type.
What gave that away?
It's also a bunny, because bunny's in the name.
Yes, Scorbunny.
So it kind of looks like a soccer player.
It does.
Which I think is on purpose, because the UK.
It's pretty big, yeah.
They love soccer. They love soccer. But that's not the only one.
No. We also have Grookey, which is a green Mookie.
Grass monkey.
Grass monkey. That funky monkey.
And I misspelled the last one here. Ignore the C.
Yes, it's Sobble.
Sobble.
Yep.
Which looks like a very anxious lizard.
It is.
Which is my favorite and the one I will be picking.
It's a water type. It's a water lizard. Bubble, I guess. Squirtle, Bubble, Sobble.
Yeah, I think it's cute. I love that little guy. I'm 100% Sobble, Team Sobble right now. Seems like a lot of people love that Score Bunny, though.
Yeah. Score Bunny looks cool.
Yeah.
The fire types usually for the most part, are the favorites. But I will not pick one until I see the final forms.
Yeah, I'm very curious about how they'll evolve.
Yes. But not much else was actually revealed.
Right. There's not a lot of footage, though.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of footage. It looks good.
Yeah, and it
looks like a
some
Switch game.
things that are interesting here.
Yeah. It looks like catching... we're right here. Yeah. It looks like random battles are back.
Yeah, which is weird. So, one of the notable things about Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was that they made it very clear. Random battles are no more. You see a Pokemon in the grass, and that is the Pokemon you battle.
Mm-hmm.
Judging by the footage, back to random battles. There was no clear Pokemon models in the grass, and the trainer did encounter a first shaded figure that ended up being a Pikachu. So thus, random appearance.
I think this is also like in development. They may change that.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be random battles.
I think so because that's just how Pokemon games are traditional.
For a traditional entry into the series, which is what this is.
Yep.
I think that's what you got to do.
Yep. But we also looks like catching looks like it's returned to the traditional method as well.
So what I mean by that is also in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, you did not have to battle a Pokemon to catch it. You threw a ball Pokemon Go style with the motion controls or without motion controls, depending. This footage showed, though, a Pokeball being thrown in a more traditional way by the trainer, which seems to insinuate that there is no such Pokemon ball throwing mechanic. Now, whether or not that will be in some sort of side mode, say, for example, a connection to Pokemon Go in which you still do have to do that, that's, who knows? That's on the table. But from the footage they showed today, it looks like it is traditional battling, traditional catching.
Okay. And lastly, character customization is back.
Yes.
We get to change clothes.
Literally the first thing they showed footage-wise was, look at all the cool clothes this trainer is wearing.
That was one of my favorite things from the X and Y.
Yes, one of my favorite new things in Pokemon as a series, 100%, is the fact that they actually let you customize your trainers now. So the base trainers, they look pretty generic, though, because of that.
Yep.
Like, generic male trainer has, like, a short hairdo. Generic female trainer has a pretty similar hairdo to the Sun and Moon. But if those games were any indication, you'll be able to change the hair as well.
Yep. Well, that brings us to the end. So this game, by that I mean the game's going to be released end of the year.
End of the year. So it's confirmed for 2019.
Yes. By that, I'm going to assume November because that's when Sun and Moon came out.
Actually, I'm thinking October.
Okay.
I could see an October release.
I mean, October, November. This is definitely like the holiday get.
This is your Nintendo holiday release.
Yep.
So, what are your thoughts?
About
what they showed, what you're thinking.
This is the first, I want to say the first Pokemon game on a Nintendo console.
Yeah, the Switch
not
is weird, handheld. Though, because it's kind of both.
Yeah, it's not really a handheld.
So it's like an asterisk there.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically speaking, this is that.
You're right. This is what everyone assumed Pokemon Stars was going to be.
Right.
But no, it's going to be an actual generation game.
Yeah.
They're sticking with the no more colors, no more gems.
Yeah. I was even trying to brainstorm last night before all this happened. I was like, what do they have? Like, I almost thought, they could do like Greek letters. I was thinking, like, do we have like a Pokemon Alpha Omega thing? And then I remembered they did.
Oh no, we did Alpha and Omega
for Ruby and Sapphire remakes, and I was like, oh shoot, that's the thing. And I was like really having a hard time. Like, what do they have? So yeah, Sword and Shield, not the strongest thing they could have done, but I get it because England. History of medieval combat.
Coat of
makes
arms.
Sense.
Yeah. It looks like a Pokemon game. I don't really have a whole lot of feels for it yet. It definitely looks cool. Definitely makes me want to buy a Switch now.
Oh, 100%.
As if you don't already have a Switch from last year's Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
and you want to play Pokemon game, this is where it's going to be.
Well, this got me really jazzed. So I'm 100%, like, I don't remember. No, I do. The last time I was this excited for a video game was probably Uncharted 4.
Weren't you also this excited for Sun and Moon when it came out?
But that was around the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Yeah, and I was excited for that because I think ever since X and Y, I've been rejuvenated with my Pokemon fandom. They just keep getting better. And this game, judging by the footage, I think it could potentially be really, really, really good. All the footage looked good. The graphic style, they're using the same engine that was used in Let's Go, Pikachu, and Eevee, but this time in a game that I want to play. And everything about this morning gave me like hope that that was a bridge game. In fact, just yesterday I was having it. I briefly brought up to my roommate. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm really interested to see what this happens." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I was thinking about like whether I keep going back and forth whether I want to buy Let's Go, Pikachu, and Eevee." And I told him like, "Yeah, that's how I've been. I'm gonna wait till what they show tomorrow morning, and that'll just make me decide whether it's even worth it." This showed me that no, there's no reason I need to play Let's Go. Those are literally that was their move. It was kind of a dual move.
It was their move for the response of Pokemon Go.
It was to bridge the gap between people who came into the series via Go to introduce them to, hey, this is a Pokemon game.
Mm-hmm.
This is the next step after that. And I think it was really smart for them to do that, but this reassured me, like, I have no reason to go back to Let's Go. I don't need to play those games.
Nope.
Because this looks like it's going to bring all the stuff that I liked about Let's Go, the look, the vibe, the fact that it's on Switch, and into an actual Pokemon game. The question marks for me now are a couple things that they said in the presentation. He did say that they were trying the team was willing to try new things. And I'm wondering what that means in this context. That's also what they said in the run up to Sun and Moon, and they really did try some new things with the Pokemon partners that you got, basically to replace HMs.
Okay. Yeah.
And like that was brand new.
I'd like to see that back. That was a fun way to use a different Pokemon without taking up a HM slave.
Yeah. Removing gyms completely. Like, are there gyms in Galar? I don't know. We don't know.
There was a stadium setting.
I love the idea of going into a Pokemon generation in a post Sun and Moon world, because now it's like literally anything can change.
It's whatever we want it to be.
Nothing
They're no
is
longer tied to you need to go collect 8 gym battles.
Yeah. I love that. I love that nothing is sacred, because it makes it really interesting to see in the run up to their game's release what they're willing to change and what they're willing to expand upon. Which is kind of like the thing, though, that'll be a lot of people's problem with this game, though, potentially. Do they change so much that they alienate some of the classic fans? Was Let's Go them like saying like, here's your nostalgia game and this is your radically different thing? Are they? What I'm saying is, are they gonna Breath of the Wild Pokemon here, or are they gonna play it safe? I don't know.
They've had 2 years since Ultra Sun and Moon,
right?
So I think they've had time to learn from what people like and don't like, and give them a game based off that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure how far along the anime series is.
They got... Well, the weird thing about that is that they had the problem the anime always does, which was they weren't done telling the original game story by the time the sequels came out.
Right.
So they incorporated a lot of Ultra stuff into the plot of the series as it was already. And so yeah, they kind of fast tracked it in a little way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have not watched in a while though, because currently the US dub is on hiatus. It has not returned since, I want to say, last summer. We haven't had new episodes in like easily like 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
It's been a while. So I don't know. We haven't picked up. So I haven't watched the subs. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but
well, because normally they introduce introduce new game with new themes or with new series.
At some point. Eventually that happens. It's not usually right on, though.
No.
There's usually some overlap. Another thing to note about the release, so that is a simultaneous worldwide release, just like they did with Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
So we'll be getting it at the same time as Japan.
Which is good. I mean, there's no... In the digital age, there's no need for waiting.
Yeah. But yeah, to wrap up my thoughts about it, I'm really, really excited. Even the idea of just having a Pokemon game on a Switch sounds amazing, because I've been needing things for that Switch. Tetris 99 was good for that. I was like, oh, I have a reason to play this thing daily. Speaking of Tetris 99, I finally did it.
I saw you finally won.
I won number 1 at one point. I haven't been able to replicate it since, but I did it. But yeah, so yeah, I'm really excited. I want to see more of what they have plans for this thing. I hope they try some new things, but ultimately I'm just excited to play another big Pokemon game, and my 3DS is charging, so that way I'll finally... I've now committed. I need to finish Sun and Moon before this thing comes out.
So I lost my cable.
Oops.
I wanted to play Sun and Moon when I went to Florida.
Yeah.
But I lost my cable, so I couldn't charge it.
Oh.
Because it's a specific charger.
It's really specific. I hate how it's not just a generic USB micro.
Yeah.
You should have just made it generic.
Yep.
Oh, well. I hate, from what I understand, the newer ones have USB-C.
Okay.
But, all right. That's it for Pokemon. Let's talk about other Nintendo news.
Do you want to talk about the other Pokemon news?
Oh, yeah, we can briefly bring that up. There was a new trailer for Pokemon Detective Pikachu. What do you think about this? I want to get your thoughts about this trailer.
So, I thought that the Pokemon looked better in this trailer. Definitely cleaned up a lot of them. They definitely did a lot more effects work. The Pokemon look better. I like the idea of why they're working together. That Pikachu can only understand Pokemon, and the kid can only understand people. So that works well. That's a good reason to bring them together.
Right.
I'm still hesitant on it, because it is definitely a weird concept, but this trailer made me at least more calm than the first trailer did.
I had the complete reverse.
Okay.
So that first trailer, it was weird, and I liked that it was weird. But the cool thing about that first trailer is it really gave you the sense of, and we talked about this on the podcast, really gave you the sense of this is what it would be like if you did live in a Pokemon world. That stuff was fascinating to me, which made this trailer disappointing to me, because that's all background. Mm-hmm. This trailer was all about, what is this movie about?
This is the story trailer.
What is the story? And that's important if you're trying to sell a movie, because most people, that is what they're looking for.
Yep.
And I thought that stuff was kind of interesting, but I wanted more of that world building. So yeah, it is what it is. I thought that some of the set pieces look interesting. I think, Pikachu says hell.
So,
that's what I literally said on Twitter. I was like, does this mean there's a Pokemon hell?
No! It's an expression.
You're an expression. I don't know. I think it's funny. Again, because I like the world building aspect. Pokemon Devil yet. There's got to be a Pokemon Satan. Give me Pokemon Satan.
Pokemon Satan in this generation?
Yeah, this generation will happen. But yeah, so my feeling was this looks more like a movie, and thus I'm slightly less excited for it. But one thing, though, I am kind of excited, though. Their eyes on, they apparently want this is potentially really cool.
There are different, I won't say generations, but different regions that you can have a new character.
Pokemon could be your new Marvel in 10 years' time. Who knows? Maybe.
I could see that working. I could see different
that happening.
Different kids, actors.
Yeah.
Or, teens or whatever.
There's so many stories you can tell.
Yes.
And I know a lot of good stories that already exist that could be told in there. Hire people.
So if we want this cinematic thing to work, we have to go see this thing?
I guess. But I don't know. This could also be a one-off and nobody could care.
Right.
There's a lot of possible ways this could go. Also, how do you feel about that weird-ass Mewtwo?
It looks like a hairless cat.
Yeah, it looks weird. I don't like it. I guess that they're trying to make him look alien.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what he is? But I don't know. And of course he looks messed up. He was literally designed to be messed up.
Yep.
So I don't know.
I feel like just them showing him means that he's gonna be like the big bad or something.
Seems like he's the big bad, and I'm guessing. I'm throwing this out here. I'm guessing that he's being manipulated by an evil person, because, as you know, Pokemon are not evil.
No,
they are influenced by evil people to be evil. Actually, canon in this universe. Right. That's actually a good question. What universe does this take place in? Is this a new universe that's set up for the films? Is this the game universe? Or is this the anime universe? Could be elements of all of the above within.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about Detective Pikachu?
I don't want to say a whole lot. It's coming up quick.
Yeah, it's coming up May.
Yeah.
That's a May movie. That's one of your pre-summer movies.
No, that is debut, start of summer. Yeah. Like so the first trailer made it look like it's gonna be like super campy. There's not a whole lot going on in it, but
last story.
Yes. So do you want to talk about Pikachu's innocence?
No, we already did.
No. Okay. All right. Last story here. We're gonna stick with the Nintendo theme because there is a new King of the Castle, so to say.
You can say that, yes.
Last week was a sad officer, Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Yes.
Retiring.
Yes, his body is no longer ready.
Yes,
his body is ready to rest.
He is retiring on April 15th. Nintendo had announced, ending his 15 years with the company.
He was there from GameCube all the way to Switch.
Yep. 15 years.
Yeah, impressive tenure.
2004?
So yeah, before GameCube, or no, yeah, after.
Yeah,
GameCube.
Big after GameCube.
After GameCube, for the right before the debut of the DS.
Yep. Reggie will be replaced by Bowser.
Doug Bowser.
Yes, that Bowser.
Not Bowser, the enemy from Mario. Although he is self-aware about the fact that he shares the last name with the villain. The debut video that he put up in 2015, a couple of years ago, when he joined the company, was involved in the background dolls of Mario and Luigi tied up.
Yep.
Which I thought was cute. So he's aware, yes, his name is Bowser.
And he's being in charge of Nintendo.
The internet loves this.
Yes.
The internet is obsessed with the fact that his name is Bowser. But yes. Bowser will be taking over.
Yes. Nintendo of America's current senior vice president of sales and marketing, he will now become COO.
Yes.
Quote, It's a part that is filled with gratitude for the incredibly talented people I've worked with, for the opportunity to represent such a wonderful brand, and for most of all, to feel like a member of the world's most positive and enduring gamer community. This is Reggie speaking, of course.
Yeah, Reggie's.
Yes. Quote, as I look forward to departing in both good health and good humor, this is not game over for me, but instead leveling up to one more time with my wife, family, and friends.
So
he's been at this for 15 years. He's done a lot for not just Nintendo, but video games in general.
Oh, yeah.
He's well deserving of retirement.
He kind of ushered in the current era of Nintendo, which is forward-facing, directly speaking to fans, and no longer mysterious. Like back when I first started following video games and stuff, Nintendo was very secretive. Like you basically had what was written in Nintendo Power, and whatever they decided to show up E3 and Space World for those early years, and then nothing else all the rest of the year. You never knew what was coming out, what was canceled, what was on the docket. Now we have a version of Nintendo that tells you when games are being delayed.
Yep.
That never happened before, and Reggie is part of that. Reggie brought in that change because he made Nintendo of America more of a voice instead of just letting Nintendo in Japan run the show.
Right. He also made Nintendo basically leave a lot of these expos so you don't have to wait, and started Treehouses.
Yeah, he helped usher in the Directs and the Treehouses and their modern approach to E3 as well. But yeah, I think though this is a good time to go.
Yeah.
Like the Switch is doing really, really well for them. They're back in a position of power in the industry. The rumors about their potential partnership with Microsoft are very compelling and could really change things up in the industry. I think all of these things. This is the time to go. Go while you're on a high, not while you're on a low.
I also want to say that these leaving, like, the Switch is literally the fastest selling thing Nintendo's ever put out.
Right. That's crazy to think about. This is the company that made the Wii.
Yes. The Wii hit 100 million sales.
The NES, units. The DS, and the Wii, like, were the biggest successes they ever had, and the Switch is on track to be bigger than all of them.
Now, do you think Reggie gets pushed for upcoming console? Whatever that could be, Google?
Who knows? I don't know.
Google at the game developers?
Yeah, that could also be interesting. So yeah, we're at the precipice of some really interesting industry changes, whether the rumored ones pan out or not. So it'll be really interesting to see what Bowser has in mind for the company. More spikes on everything, I bet. That's my bet.
He's going to make a bridge that's actually sturdy.
Yeah, everything's made of fire at this point.
I kind of wish for his first day there's just a big bowl of peaches on his desk waiting for him.
Eat all the peaches. All right.
Or mushrooms, whichever.
Did you play any video games?
So that brings us to thoughts.
It does.
Did I play any video games? I have not played a video game since finishing Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. All right.
Yes, I've been busy with a bunch of other stuff going on.
I finished the campaign of Crackdown 3.
There was a campaign?
Last weekend. Yes, that was a campaign, believe it or not. I finished the campaign, the story, I guess you could call it, if you want to call it the story. Technically, I haven't gotten all the orbs, so I'm not done. I haven't 100%ed it.
Okay.
But yeah, I finished the story. It kind of ends with a whimper. It's not a story-based game, so I guess I should have seen that coming. But yeah, there aren't a whole lot of things in the end game really that matter. They shoot you right back into the world after that to pick up what you left off.
Right.
There is an option, however, to reset the world. So if you want to go into the world with your superpowered agent and start from the top, you can. The first game lets you do that as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I may do that after I pick up the remaining orbs I get. But oh man, the one thing this game is missing that it direly needs. Remember how games like Infamous and Spider-Man even have beacons where you can tell if there's items in your vicinity?
Yeah.
Crackdown has never and still does not have that. So your only judge for where agility orbs that you're missing are is the overworld map that says gives you a number. It'll say, oh, you have 7 out of 14 of the orbs in this area, but it does not denote where they are. So it's basically like you getting up to a high spot and try to like see, like look, use the camera and be like, do I see any shafts of green light where an agility orb would be? And seeing nothing, and then going back to the map and seeing this still says I have 7 out of 14, where the hell are they? And then just bailing and going like, fine, I'm over it. I need to go to a different place in the map.
This is where the internet comes in. You're like, okay, fine. Tell me where this is.
I was just hoping I wouldn't have to use a guide for this, but if I'm going to 100% this game, which I don't know if I want to or not, I'm still on the precipice whether I want to or not, then I might have to use a guide. I really hope I don't have to.
So I used a guide to Platinum Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
But that was after I did everything in one solid run, after I did as much as I could going on my own. I was like, okay, I need to find these last two. I don't want to be searching for 2 hours.
Yeah, because that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel a little less positive after finishing it. I had fun with it while it lasted, but now that I've kind of done my piece with it, I don't know if I'm going to come back.
So Crackdown is down for the count now?
Crackdown.
Yes.
So yeah, I still think that it's a fun little distraction for a weekend, but that's about how much juice it has in that tank.
Not worth the 9-year wait?
Not worth the wait. Not worth $60.
Okay.
All right. That's all I played. Like I said, I'm going to jump back into Sun and Moon and maybe finish that up.
Okay. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll find a charge source.
Pick up a cable.
Pick up a cable.
Big
but I have not played a game, and that brings us to the end.
That's it. That's it for the Media Boat Podcast. So, it's time to wrap up.
All right, so let's plug away here.
Let's plug ourselves in. This has been the Media Boat Podcast. We podcast live on YouTube.com every Wednesday night. Tonight we went up at 7. We are not sure. We don't have a full, a set time at this point. But we are Wednesday nights. Those are going to be PM, around between 6 and 8 p.m. Pacific time. Check it out on youtube.com/mediaboat. Did we have comments?
Oh, we did have comments.
We didn't even realize it?
Yeah. Well, because I guess it was stuck on top chat or live chat.
So we didn't see any of the comments. Yeah. Do we want to address those real quick?
Yeah, we address them real quick.
Okay.
We have, hi guys, checking in. Back in music. Guess that's why the 2-year Peter Frampton Steve Miller band ended.
Yes.
And we saw them twice over the last 2 years. Peter Frampton.
Oh.
And we have a new comment. What's both of your favorite Pokemon?
Ooh.
Hmm.
What's your favorite Pokemon?
My favorites... Oh, wow. There's 800 to choose from?
There's a lot.
There's a lot. My favorite one to try and capture, if I can, is Ampharos. Or at least Flaffy, and then to Ampharos. Ampharos, yeah, he's one of my favorites. I like it. I liked his Mega Form too. Mm-hmm. It was very funny and endearing, because Ampharos is just funny looking. But I can say Ampharos is one of my favorites.
I have a real answer and I have a joke answer.
Okay. My
real answer, although the joke answer is becoming more real every time I think about it, and now that I actually have used it in the games, my real answer has always been Bayleaf.
Yes.
I never liked Meganium, but I love Bayleaf for some reason. I just love the design, and I just have, that's my favorite generation 2. So I just have these nostalgic feelings about Bayleaf and that whole Chikorita line. But my joke answer, like I said, becoming more and more real the more I think about it, is Tropius. Tropius is the best. He grows fruit on his neck. Other Pokemon eat that fruit.
And it flies. It's huge and it flies.
I love it. And he flies. He's a flying grass type, which is my favorite thing because I love flying types and love grass types. So it's like the combination of all my favorite things. And he's not that bad, actually.
No.
He's got some neat moves. He's not super common, and he's not an evolution.
Yeah.
So he's like a weird one-off Pokemon that's not like any other Pokemon. And they almost did another grass flying type in Sun and Moon, and they didn't commit to it and changed it to a ghost type in this third evolution. So we still don't have something quite like it.
While we're on that train.
Yes. Tropius train?
Yes. No, the Pokemon train.
Yes.
How many more do they add?
Generally speaking, I think the least they've ever added was 60, and the most they've ever added is full 150.
Right.
That was in black and white. And I think Sun and Moon, only did 60 or 80.
Gen 2 was 150. It was 100.
Gen 2, was 100 even, I think. So generally speaking, it's around 100. I would see them doing 100 here.
Yeah.
Unless they want to do a black and white style reset, then they'll do the full 150.
Okay. What if they do a Sun and Moon alternate Alola region, Galar region?
They might do some Galar forms. I would not be surprised if the Alolan stuff, since the Alolan stuff worked and people love those Alolan forms, maybe they'll do maybe Gen 2 Pokemon with Galar forms. I would be into that. Because that's the thing about the Alolan forms, it was all Gen 1 Pokemon. So I don't know. We'll see. But exciting times.
Yeah.
But let's continue with the wrap-ups then, the plugs. So I said, you can find us on youtube.com. Just search Media Boat Podcast. Go there to subscribe to our channel, and you'll get notifications when we go live on Wednesday nights. If you'd rather listen to us via audio, if you don't want to see these mugs anymore, you can catch us on podcast form on Apple Podcasts or any RSS feed-driven podcast forum you got out there. So your podcatchers, you can find us. Just look up Media Boat Podcast. You can also find us on social media. On Twitter, we're at MediaBoatCast. On Facebook, we have a page on there. Just search MediaBoat Podcast to find it, and like it, and comment. And you can finally find us on Twitch.tv when we play video games. Twitch.tv/Pokemon. No, not Pokemon. That's something else. / MediaBoat Podcast. Then also, you can find us on Patreon. If you want to help us out with money, you can donate as little as $1 a month. Even that little amount of money can help us make this content even better for you and give you exclusive content down the line. So check us out there, patreon.com/MediaBoat. That will do it. So we'll be back next week with another edition.
Yep. I don't really have anything forward.
Yeah, no previews really.
No previews.
We'll probably listen to some music. We'll probably I'll play some Pokemon for you. But other than that, new week, new stories.
New week, new stories, new month.
New month.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, YouTube after show. Yeah, I was looking at this, like thinking why nothing was changed.
Missed
and then
chats.
I hit live, go to live.
I guess do that at the top of the show next time. And
normally I do, but my dad had called me, and I think that reset it.
Okay. Well, so yeah, if we didn't interact with you guys during the show, we apologize. But yeah, tune in next time. We'll hopefully interact with chat as it happens.
Yep, that's why I keep it up here. That's why I keep it live. But thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Next week.
For all new episode. Bye-bye.